Hello, this is Steven with Bubble Sports. What we're going to do today is some repair. We have a TPU ball here, and our old style glue, for whatever reason, was not adhering very well anymore. So we've done some research and we found a product made by Loctite that should work great. We've already done some experimenting and had great results. It's called Loctite Plastics Bonding System. It's a two-part system. Comes with an actuator or an activator tube and then the actual glue itself. We'll show you how to use that today. What we've already done thus far is aired the ball up. This ball had several spots, 6 actually, which is a large number, but 6 small holes. See a lot of scuffs, and so evidently there's been some rough play. But we've got these marked with duct tape. This is Gorilla Tape. I found this helpful if I'm using balls for a tournament or a game or something. If there's a small puncture, take a strip of this off, firmly put it on there, and generally speaking, it'll temporarily seal your leak so you can continue to use it. Anyway, I'm using it now as a marker. So I'm going to just move it slightly up above where this hole is. I don't know if you can see it. It's a pretty small one here. It's like a pinpoint, and I can feel air coming out just ever so slowly. So I used to use bigger patches, but with this new glue, smaller is actually better. So I've already cut a piece of this material. Actually, I'm using a PVC patch, mainly because it just bonds a whole lot better. Of course, you still got your TPU underlayment here, so it's not an issue for structure or anything. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. This patch is probably, it's slightly less than a square inch, but it's going to easily cover that spot. And to use this system properly, you have to cover both surfaces with this activator. So let's do that. Got to kind of imagine here. So I'm making a square around that little hole and fill it in thoroughly. You may or may not be able to see it in the video. It's a clear liquid. And beside it, I need to completely fill in one side of the patch. Oops. And then this is very important. You have to let it sit for 60 seconds. Basically, the activator needs to air dry. So while we're waiting on that, we can talk about some other things. A couple other tools besides scissors and the glue is that I found handy. Having a putty knife, even a smaller one like a 1-inch width would be great. And on this gluing, this is a glue that once you bind this PVC to the TPU, it's not going to come off. You could cut it off, I suppose, or cut it out, or you can put a larger patch on. But you got to get this on right the first time, because you're not going to get a second time. Now, I don't say that to make you exceedingly worried, but just to be careful. So the most important part, of course, is the part where the hole is. So I'm going to put several drops of glue around the hole itself, because I want to make sure there's plenty of glue there. So we'll do one. The directions say don't use too much of this, and I agree, but we've got a nice circle around the hole, so that's going to fill in nicely. I'm going to put the rest of the glue on the patch. I'm trying to get this parallel to the ground here so we don't have glue running down the side here. So I'm going to put some more glue in the middle, just some drops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what? I can go ahead and do a little bit toward the edges. I'm always hesitant to get too close to the edges, because then it starts squirting out onto the ball where I don't want it, onto my fingers, etc., etc. Now I just set the glue off to the side, and I did not put the cap on, because unless you clean that nozzle, the end of it, you're just going to end up gluing the cap to the... Okay, so I set that on there right over the very middle. I'm going to press it down, and this is where I'm going to use my putty knife. because I don't want to get this all over my fingers. I suppose you could maybe use gloves, and I can see I did put too much glue on because it's going to squirt out. I'm just going to have to let it squirt out some, but push down mainly right now where the hole is, right in the middle. If I didn't get enough glue on, I could have came back and sealed the edges later. That's what I should have done. I put too much on, but, and it will bond quick. So now, you only got a few seconds. Push down on the edges, try to hold them ever so briefly, and just make sure that it's bonding. Middle's already good and stuck, I could see that. And, okay. Now, I think the most important part, that wasn't a perfect demo there since I put too much glue on, but the most important part, make sure you have a good amount of glue right where the hole is, because you want that to have a perfect seal. Some other patches I've done with this, I didn't put enough glue on, but probably that was better than this around the edges, so when I got done, the edges were wanting to come up. Well, I could then put one more drop of glue on the edge and hold it down with this. So that wasn't bad. Let's go ahead and do another patch while we're here. That seems to be sealing well. Of course, it still needs to have some time to bond. Or to finish bonding or setting up. So I would cure, I guess is the term I'm looking for. I'd let that sit at least an hour, but this does work pretty quick. So I'm just going to rotate the ball around here. I'm going to leave my black tape nearby to the repair because that reminds me what to come back and check. Anytime I do a repair like this, I'm going to assume I got it sealed right, but it never hurts to come back 4 hours later just to see, hey, is any air leaking out? Did I really get it sealed right? Check around the hole. Okay, this one, I don't know if you can see, but it's a more significant hole. I can hear it. There's actually a gash where the cut is, and it actually drags down like it hit something sharp and penetrated and then scuffed. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but anyway. So same kind of thing. The hole itself is less than a 1/4 inch long, it looks like. So I need to quickly just take my little scraps, and because we're not making very big patches, just even a small remnant piece will go a long way. Again, if you make your patches about 1 inch by 1 inch, or even a little smaller, in many cases, I think you'll be just fine there. Okay, so we got the patch. I guess had I been thinking I should have got the activator going, but I guess I need the patch too, so never mind. Alright, so we're going to imagine here. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of an idea of where I need to put all my activator. Okay, so here we go. Let's outline it. And again, I can see this here if I'm at the right angle. This is just a very fine liquid. Never hurts. Make sure you get it on good. Okay. I really shouldn't start my 60-second clock until I get it on the back of the patch. Okay, 60 seconds. Let that sit. Got my super glue ready, but I just need to sit tight. Okay, I'm going to try to do better on the glue this time. I'm going to use less. I can always add more glue to the edges later if need be, but I've got to get the hole clearly sealed the first time around. I may just do that just to try to seal the middle and see how it works out here. Okay, let's wait a few more seconds here. One more thing about this glue, it seems to be very durable. I don't think there's going to be issues, but if there are issues with it, you know, down the road drying out, we'll have to deal with that then. There are other alternatives, but this was the best domestic alternative I could find to work with, and so far I'm really pleased. So here we go. All right, so I've got the hole right here. I'm going to put glue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right around the hole. I'm not even going to try to get to the edges of this. I just want to seal the hole down and watch what happens here. Okay, so I've got that. I'm pushing in the middle. I'm going to push to the outside edges and hold it for a few seconds is all it takes. Again, once that activator's on there, this works like super glue. It's pretty quick setting, which is nice as long as you're prepared for it, because you're not going to get a second chance to move it. Okay. I could probably already take my fingers away now. All right, good, excellent. This will show us what we've got here. Okay, so if you can see right there in the middle, that's where the hole is, the gash. And even now I can push, and it's good. Now, if I try to pull, I can see all 4 edges are loose, and that's just because I didn't put glue all the way out there. But even now, if I start trying to pull this patch off, it's I tell you what, it's on there pretty good already. It'll be even better once it fully cures. But since I've already got the activator on while I'm here right now, I'm going to go ahead now, have my putty knife nearby. But I'm going to just go ahead and peel this back and just squirt a little bit of glue along the perimeter. Oh, and there it goes. It comes out a little quicker than you might expect. And then maybe I can even get this other one sealed. But go ahead and push that down. And really, on one hand, you don't have to do this, I suppose. As long as you got the patch, the leak part taken care of. I guess you can say who cares if it flaps a little bit. But I would prefer, at least for me, to have it sealed down everywhere, so there's nothing going to potentially catch the patch. So the putty knife, again, just helps keep your fingers clean. Nice firm edge. You could use anything similar, I suppose. Okay, and if you do have glue that squirts out a little bit, it will air dry pretty quick if there's nothing on it or nothing touching it. And let's see, yeah, it's still just a little bit tacky there, but I've got my edges down. Okay, that's another one that looks like it's already good. Again, I wouldn't recommend coming out and you know, playing with this right now with these repairs, but you might almost be able to. This glue really seems to stick tough and hold up very nicely. Hopefully it will do so for the long term. Thank you much. This is Steven with Bubble Sports. Have a great day.